Mr. Speaker, I agree. It makes no more logical sense to add a hate crimes bill to the defense bill than it would to take a bill requiring people to be allowed to use their guns in the national parks to a credit card bill. But that's what the Senate did. The Senate added a bill dealing with the rights of gun owners in the national parks to the credit card bill, with which there was no logical connection. Now, I wish the Senate wouldn't do things like that. I wish a lot of things. But when we are confronted with the reality of the Senate, we have to act. Now, it is conceivable that you would have people who are so devoted to the principle of having no illogical attachment that they would oppose it in every case. I must have been in the cloakroom when Republicans rose to denounce the Senate for adding the bill requiring allowing the use of guns in parks to the credit card bill. That was done. Not a single Republican, to my recollection, objected. Indeed, quite to the contrary, they all voted for it, which makes it very clear. The objection here is not to the Senate adding an unrelated bill, because Republicans in this House have voted for that time and time and time again. It is an objection to protecting against hate crimes people who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender. Now, some say we shouldn't have these hate crimes laws, but their inconsistency is I don't remember them trying to repeal the hate crimes laws that are on the books. There's nothing new about a hate crime law here. There's nothing new about its constitutionality. By the way, if you say violence should be violence, how about somebody having the intellectual integrity to get up and repeal that statute that says if someone assaults someone standing next to me, it might be a misdemeanor, but if someone assaults me, a member of Congress, it's a federal felony. We have a major distinction. We are protected by special laws. Older people, people are religion. Then they say, well, it's a matter of choice. The level of intelligence involved in thinking that being gay or lesbian is a matter of choice aside, religion's a matter of choice. People convert to religions. Does that mean that we shouldn't protect people against hate crimes based on religion? And finally, we're told this is being sneaked through. One of the earlier speakers in a total flight from reality said it's being sneaked through. It passed the House. It was debated. It went through the regular committee process, and it passed the House. Yes, from time to time, the United States Senate, which has no rules preventing it, adds unrelated bills. If there are members who have consistently opposed that practice, they have the right to oppose it here and say that's the reason. But members who have voted for legislation which the Senate attached to unrelated legislation, who claim now to be offended by that practice, clearly have no logical or other basis on which to make that claim. There are people who do not think we should add a very vulnerable category, particularly people who are transgender, to the hate crimes protection. They lost that fight when we had it in the House. I would have had it come up again, but it is clearly just another example of a very time-tried practice.